Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It's Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. So look, in this video, we're gonna dive deeper into clones. We're gonna go deeper into the clone theory, right? Now, this is a really good series because, we kind of get to tackle all angles, the pop culture side, where actors and rappers who we believe might have been cloned. Now, I want to go into like more of the technical side. Hear it from the horse's mouth, hear it right out of the government's mouth, and some other clips that I found of people that I've never heard talk about cloning. And I feel like this video is really gonna, push those over that are kind of like still on the fence about believing in clones. Now, a lot of y'all had a lot of good comments in the last video. I know a lot of y'all are aware that this stuff is real. But this video, now, I also do want to do one more after this video. And a lot of people requested me to do Donald Marshall. Now, his video is kind of a lot to do because he has a lot of clips where he's talking for like, I think there's one main video where he's talking for like an hour. Then there's some other videos as well. So, it'll take me not too long, but that video is just, it'll be too much to fit it all in this one because I got stuff that I want to show in this video that's, it kind of tackles a different side. Like I said, kind of like the technical side. So when we hear this video, by the time we get to the Donald Marshall video, you're going to be like, all right, this shit is definitely real. There's nothing I can say. The proof is there. The government already said it. The president already said it themselves. So at this point, if you don't believe in it, I don't even know what to tell you. That's like how you gonna feel after watching these two videos that I got lined up. I think it's been going on since the 30s and 40s. I think they've been mastered the technology and the science around it. Human DNA cloning, just full body cloning as well. Like you're literally gonna hear them tell you that they have cloned full humans, and it's no game. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's kind of scary because they don't talk about it like they used to. Like decades ago, they don't talk about it. Today it's just all about AI, artificial intelligence, robots, chat GPT, so on and so on. So they've already mastered this cloning thing. There's already synthetic beings out there walking around, no soul, soulless, kind of relates back to prophecy. So this thing is already real, and that's the scariest part about it because you never really know. You never know. You probably already seen one in your lifetime, whether it's on TV or in real life. I'm sure a lot of us have seen one, and we just don't even know. And that's why all these movies, movies that date back 20 years ago, current movies and shows are about this stuff because we know they put the truth on film and in TV. So, with that being said, I just want to jump into this first clip. So check this out.
Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings if the technology were developed. Therefore, today I am issuing a directive that bans the use of any federal funds for any cloning of human beings. Effective immediately, no federal agency may support, fund, or undertake such activity. Of course, a great deal of research and activity in this area is supported by private funds. That is why I am urging the entire scientific and medical community, every foundation, every university, every industry that supports work in this area, to heed the federal government's example. I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our Bioethics Advisory Commission and our entire nation have had a real chance to understand and debate the profound ethical implications of the latest advances. As we gain a fuller understanding of this technology, we must proceed not just with caution, but also with a conscience.
You requested on the legal and ethical issues that have been raised by the sudden potential to clone human beings by a new technology with rather remarkable characteristics. As you can understand, this has been an unusually challenging assignment, in part because of the complexity and difficulty of the issues, in part because conflicting values are at stake, in part because Americans disagree on the implications of this new technology for the social and cultural values they hold dearest, in part because it's difficult to decide if and when our liberties should be restricted, and in part because of the ambitious timetable. In preparing our report, we made every effort to consult widely with ethicists, theologians, scientists, physicians, and as many citizens as possible with interests and concerns in this area. It is clear that the potential ability to clone human beings through the technique known as somatic cell nuclear transfer raises many important scientific, legal, and moral issues that require further review and consideration. Indeed, the Commission itself is unable to agree at this time on all the ethical issues that surround the potential cloning of human beings. On one key ethical issue, however, we are unanimous. It seems clear to all of us, given the current state of science in this area, that any attempts to clone human beings via somatic cell transfer techniques is uncertain in its prospects, is unacceptably dangerous to the fetus, and is morally unacceptable at this time. We believe there is a widespread moral consensus on this issue. Moreover, we think that more time for further public deliberation on the complex ethical and social concerns that surround the issue would be helpful. We therefore recommend that the current moratorium on attempts to create children in this manner be continued, and that you immediately ask for voluntary compliance in the private sector, while federal legislation, carefully crafted and with appropriate sunset provisions, banning the use of these techniques for creating children, is formulated and considered.
Now, do y'all see what these people are talking about? Now, mind you, this is years ago. This was back when Bill Clinton was president. They kept talking about, a moratorium on the process of cloning humans. Now, that sounds very familiar to what just happened. Remember, I did a video on it when they were calling for a moratorium and all kind of restrictions on AI. Remember, we talked about it a good bit of videos down where we were talking about TikTok, AI, so on and so on. I think I did like 2 videos on it. And, Elon Musk was like, agreeing with everybody, there should be restriction, a 6-month pause on AI development, so on and so on. This is the same thing that they were doing right here in this conference. And now I say that because as far as AI, they start putting out all this stuff out of nowhere once they realize it has gotten out of control and beyond their reach almost of understanding, limiting AI to just being, something that's not harmful toward human beings or the environment or our world as we know it, aka reality. So, they try to do all these restrictions once they realize they done created some shit. This is the same thing. They're not coming out, because at this time, I'm speaking like when they were doing this conference, they're not coming out doing the conferences because it just started and they just realized, no. They were already way advanced by this point. Probably multiple underground facilities of cloned little babies. They're talking about creating children. He didn't even use the word cloning children, which that's what it is. But he said using techniques to create children, cloning it from the fetus. He said it was harmful to the fetus to clone it, from basically, I don't even want to call that a young age, I don't even know what we call that, but catch the wordplay that he used. The use of techniques of creating children. So imagine how many little ones they have to even experiment on stuff like this. Y'all, this is crazy. It's crazy. This is years ago, decades ago. And if they're coming out, at that time, trying to set restrictions and do all of that stuff, that means it had gotten out of control, inhumane. It's basically what they were saying. And we're gonna listen a little bit more to the guy that was just talking. And he's gonna go a little bit more into detail about that. Just another short clip just to follow up on what I'm saying. But y'all, this is why I said in the beginning of the video, they don't even talk about this no more. They're not holding no presidential conferences about cloning. Bro, it's probably, that's probably over for them. Like, as far as, you know, setting restrictions and this and that, they probably just have it so down packed, it's mastered, it's done. The science of it is done. They just use it for what they need to use it for. They clone whoever, however, how these presidents got, I already told y'all, presidents, they all have stand-ins, body doubles, or clones of themselves. And I got this other clip where the guy's going to talk about that a little bit more as well. But y'all, this kind of stuff right here get me excited because it's right there. I already told you, this is the video where if you on the fence, go on and jump over, because this is going to put the nail in the coffin about cloning. It is real.
These new animal cloning techniques could be used to create a child. That is why I acted in March to ban the use of federal funds for cloning human beings and to urge the private sector to observe the ban voluntarily, while we initiated a national dialogue on the risks and the responsibilities of such a possibility, and why I asked this commission to issue this report. For 3 months, the commission has rigorously explored the scientific, moral, and spiritual dimensions of human cloning. It has talked to leading scientists and religious leaders, to philosophers and families, to patient advocates, and to the general public. From many opinions and beliefs, as Dr. Shapiro said, one unanimous conclusion has emerged. Attempting to clone a human being is unacceptably dangerous to the child and morally unacceptable to our society. I believe strongly that this conclusion reflects a national consensus, and I believe personally that it is the right thing to do. Today, I am sending legislation to the Congress that prohibits anyone in either public or private sectors from using these techniques to create a child. Until the day I sign the legislation into law, the ban on federal funding I declared in March will remain in effect. And once again, I call upon the private sector to refrain voluntarily from using this technology to attempt to clone a human being. I want to make clear that there is nothing inherently immoral or wrong with these new techniques used for proper purposes. In fact, they hold the promise of revolutionary new medical treatments and life-saving cures to diseases like cystic fibrosis, diabetes, and cancer, to better crops and stronger livestock. This legislation, therefore, will not prohibit the use of these techniques to clone DNA in cells, and it will not ban the cloning of animals. What the legislation will do is to reaffirm our most cherished belief about the miracle of human life and the God-given individuality each person possesses. It will ensure that we do not fall prey to the temptation to replicate ourselves at the expense of those beliefs.
All right, y'all. So what I find interesting about that clip was the fact that Bill Clinton said they were going to pull federal funding from using techniques and science and so on to create human clones. And he said he hoped that the private sectors, who knows what and who those private sectors are, he hoped that they would, willingly volunteer to do the same and stop using funds to create human clones. He specifically said we shouldn't try to create copies of ourselves because obviously it's not, what the true essence of a human is. You can't copy the soul. But that's something to pay attention to because, you know how the way they word stuff, like for them, they're trying to save face to the public. At that time, we never know what was going on. It could have been like a whistleblower or information getting out or they thought was about to get out, and they wanted to go ahead and do all these press conferences. And because what people don't know about is not hurting them. So why would they feel the need to talk about this kind of stuff and, ask private sectors to stop the research, stop the process of cloning humans, creating children, all this kind of stuff when no one truly knows about it? I'm pretty sure back then people were doing what we're doing today, speculating and thinking people were cloned and presidents had clones and so on and so on. But nobody really knew. So you have to ask yourself, what really made these people, at that time, Bill Clinton and, his team, what made them come out and hold these conferences? That's really a question we got to ask ourselves. Because like I said, I think that was just to save face. So if they faced any kind of backlash, they already went on record to say that we pulled federal funding. We're acknowledging how dangerous it is and, inhumane. So, I thought that was pretty interesting, You know what I'm saying? For us to really hear it out the horse's mouth, you know? So at this point of the video, I'm not going to talk too long. I got another clip I want to show y'all. I think it's about 5 or 6 minutes long. I'm going to come back one more time after that clip, and then we're going to wrap this part 2 up of the clone series. Remember, we got one more video we're going to do on Donald Marshall. That'll wrap up the entire series for now. So y'all check this out.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, if you go to Disney World, for instance, down there in the Haunted Mansion, you see the hologram, right? Oh, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Lear, and he was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real and found out later he was a hologram.
Well, it's a synthetic. A synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, if you guys can rent a video, the boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it, it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
and the Soviets have a different method called...
I mean, making people meaning temporary people?
No, walking, talking ones.
Meaning through genetics? You're not talking about that?
Well, let me tell you. The movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours.
Uh-huh.
We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just connecting. They'll act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, you know, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. Again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden that fetus is gone because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. Which accelerates the being that grows. And the original technology was given to our government by the Greys. Now, the reason was that our scientists were all excited because we could have spare parts. If you need a heart or a liver or anything, you won't have any rejection. It's your own DNA, right?
Okay, because theoretically, if we have overpopulation, we don't need more people, right?
But the so-called elite are selecting on who they want to have around anyway, so if we want to keep people going as long as we can. I talked to the doctor that was working on regeneration of Castro, for instance.
Right.
On the DNA sequencing. And they're just learning about this.
Well, my understanding is that a lot of presidents have already been replaced.
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't think...
They're walking around, they look old, but they basically, some of the people are just
I'll just
second,
give you
third
something
copies.
I'll give you something to ponder. Get some old videos of George Bush, when he first came into office. Look at the person and listen to him speak. Look at his actions and listen to everything that's there. Now, it's a lot easier to put somebody out in front to act as a, you know, even Bush did. He had somebody else that was up there acting like he is and look like it. Even Hitler had he had his stand. In fact, his stand-in was the one that they found in the ground over in Germany. I mean, Hitler and Eva and the dog and 14 other people got aboard a plane and flew down to Barcelona, Spain. You were aware of that. And then ended up in Antarctica or in Swabenland, and then died a few years ago in Brazil.
That's what we heard. That's
I have all the documents from our own government.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a contact, one of our
Stalin
contacts.
Stalin asked for they tried to burn the body, and he got the body back, and he said, wait a minute, different ears, and the testicles were different and everything else, so they knew it wasn't Hitler.
But is it a clone or not?
Oh, now you know we're going about cloning. Cloning techniques, since 1938, they've been making clone people. There's 8 countries making clones. I have a doctor friend that all it does is treat the clones.
Where do you get your information?
I get it from some of the people that are willing to come forth, and they talk to me because they hope I'll put the information out, because they always got 2 people following them and they may be killed. If I start talking about cloning too much, the people that get involved into that disappear on it. So I don't go into too many more details, but there is information that's available, and it's more and more that's coming on the line. I just told you, go rent the movie.
Okay, Boys from Brazil.
Yeah, and you'll see the whole technique on what they show it to you in different places. So you can imagine what is going on.
Okay, so
No, let's go to the next step, because this is the most important part.
all right.
If your physical reality that you have, based on this physical life that you have, this dream, is made up of the experiences that is impregnated on your body and in your mind, consciously, right? Mm-hmm. Your soul memory is another thing. It goes back whatever time that you elected to be in this incarnation for whatever reason. Now let's show you the division on these things. Since the body's very physical, and we just got you making a physical being in a few months for spare parts, they said, now we've got the perfect deal. How can we have that work better? Well, if you go to the hospital today and get an encephalogram, what's that? That's the memory of your conscious mind. It's on the CD. Let's download it on this being. Now we got a walking, talking duplicate that has the total memory that you have. Now we got a walking, talking duplicate that has the total memory that you have, because we just took it off of your own mind.
Okay, it's like Blade Runner, the android.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The only thing is that it's like this DVD recorder. Sometimes you have glitches in it, so you have to have them tuned up occasionally or redone them. And so we take them to Camp David, or there's a wing at Bethesda Hospital, to just tell you. If you go down there and check, you'll find the nurses, if they're willing to come forth, they'll tell you they work on those people, and they call them the others. I thought it was interesting. They're people. Remember, these people can think and act, but they don't have soul. That's also prophesized. Soulless
right, that's
beings.
true.
Now, excuse me for my language, but look at this shit. Look at this shit right here, y'all. This man that we just got done listening to, he just confirmed everything Clinton said, and one of Clinton's advisors, or whoever that guy was that was talking to the other guy, he just confirmed everything they said. And he has nothing to do with government. I don't actually know, his title or anything. I don't know if he's some kind of researcher or whatever. He confirmed everything they said, and he went more into detail. Told you how they clone from the fetus. How once it, starts to create its own blood supply at 14 weeks, as long as they have a food supply, they are able to use the pituitary hormone from that gland. They're able to use it to accelerate the growth of the clone. Now, I have Gucci on the screen because, if this is a full clone of Gucci, that is how they did it. Body double, clone, whichever one we want to go with. But hearing some of this stuff, it's like, all right, now I don't even know if these people are body doubles or if these are real deal clones of these people. Like my boy, this bro on the left, Gucci on the left, the original copy, he gone. This ain't Gucci on the right. Now, I wasn't even going to bring the rappers and, back into this video, but this is, because I was going to kind of say this for the Donald Marshall video, which we still doing that video, but, just to end this video off real quick, I'm not even going to say much because there ain't even nothing else to say. This ain't the left Gucci. How Buddy said, tofu Gucci. But these is not the same people. These are not the same people. And he was going into, how it started back in the 30s, and he was going into Hitler being a clone as well. They had, multiples of Hitler, and how the Hitler that was found was his multiple, his copy, which we already kind of talked about that in my UFO videos that I did. But look at this. Then he also went on to talk about how this will explain why Gucci was the way that he was when he first got out of jail. Remember, he said, and this goes to the movie Get Out. This goes to that movie that was on Prime Video with the black woman that was a doctor that uploaded her son's. She was trying to hurry up and upload her son's memories and consciousness to another person so the son could keep living. We talked about that movie before. I always forget the name of it when we get to talking about this kind of stuff. But same thing in Get Out. It's kind of all the same thing as transferring consciousness. But, he used the word memories. They, and they're able to do it in a regular hospital the way he made it seem. Upload your memories, and That is how they are able to create a walking, talking, literal copy of you. So in a sense, that would explain why Gucci was so weird when he got out, because he had all of Gucci's memories and, you know, mannerisms and whatever else you want to call it. But there's still things about that you won't be able to, you know, it's not just natural, because it's not. That's why he was weird around the cameras. It wasn't because he was in jail for a few years. His wife was acting like she had to tell him what to do. It's because she really had to. He only had the memories of Gucci. So it's not, you know, to me, that doesn't mean he know how to act like Gucci. He know how to do all this other shit. You know, he just had, he's able to sound like him, so on and so on. But I don't give a damn. Ain't no way that's the real Gucci. I think it's the same thing with Kodak. He just confirmed it all, y'all. He confirmed it all. So everybody that's been on the fence about the shit, yo, how do a clone, you know, in a year come up looking like a grown ass man, this and that, he just told you. He literally just told you how they accelerate the growth to make a full grown human clone in probably 6 to 12 months. He just told you. It's actually not that hard when you listen to what they're telling you by using growth hormones. It's insane, y'all. If y'all want to listen again, just go and rewind this video back. Listen to what he got to say again. Now, I'm not going to keep on and on talking y'all heads off right here, because I'm going to go ahead and end this video, because we're going to get into it a lot more in the Donald Marshall video to go ahead and cap this series off. For now, I'm going to keep saying that. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, man. I thought this was real important to do. Yet again, we just trying to unlock a little bit more truth about all this stuff, because, you know, this shit ain't over. This ain't over. And they ain't just going to be able to slide these little clone copies of people right over us and we not try to catch, you know, to what's going on. They told us years ago, decades ago, bro. This stuff ain't impossible. This is real, y'all. So y'all already know what's going on, man. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed that video. Like I said, let me know what y'all think in the comments. And with that being said, it's Black Balloon, and I'm going to see y'all soon. I'm out.